to me, but let me have a quick little shifty through these books and just to get some idea of what I'm getting myself into. And I really liked them. I thought, yeah, great, they're an easy read, you know, and informative, so...
Yeah, well, it's a very good book, John. Thanks very much for putting it together. Lots of amazing photographs in the book as well, original, authentic photographs. Tell us a little bit how you gathered them together, and also tell us about the front cover choice.
Well, I was very fortunate because all of the contributors, when I approached them and they found out I was going to do a book about Brian, he was authorised, he was happy with it. Everyone, give things very, very openly. Ian Dixon, Vicky Shepherd. There've been numerous really, very, very generous contributors, and they didn't charge them a load of money. They gifted them, and the front cover is a wonderful cover. And when Ruth and I, my wife and I saw the picture, we didn't, which was taken by Mina, Brian's wife. It couldn't be anything other than that cover. So
And do you still smoke, Brian? Do you still smoke?
I've got what?
Do you still smoke cigarettes?
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
No, I used to smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke these days.
Don't smoke. Okay, we got the answer there. All right then, good. We got there. That's good.
No, I used to enjoy cigarettes and joints and stuff.
Yeah.
Not so much now. No.
Yeah. Moved on to the harder stuff.
Some things you've got to just knock on the head.
So you were born Brian Robertson on 18th of February 19...
Yeah.
And you were an only child of Stanley and Joan. Now, by the looks of things in the book, or the sounds of things, you had a really happy childhood.
I did, yeah. A few little ups and downs and stuff like that, like you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the part about Superman, Spider-Man, and parading around in a cowboy outfit. Were you big into, dressing up and...
well, not in the way that you're insinuating.
I am not. I've been talking about your childhood.
Only cowboys.
So, junior school was okay, but secondary school was more of a challenge.
It was getting boring, yeah.
Right.
I figured I could read, go into a shop and not get ripped off for me change. And that's all I needed to know. The rest of it, I just wanted to play guitar.
Yeah, and so you started getting early thoughts then of forming a band in your secondary school?
Oh boy, yeah.
And your parents had bought you a guitar?
Well, what happened was I had a guitar that I wanted to buy, but I didn't have the money to buy it. And I needed my parents' permission to be able to get it on HP, on
oh yeah, hire purchase.
Purchase, yeah. And so I said to my dad, can you... put your name in here so I can get this. And he said, you know what, you're going to be paying a lot of interest on the HP thing. Why don't I, if you promise to me that you will keep a job down and pay me back at like a £5 a week or whatever it was, then I'll lend you the money and I'll buy the guitar for you, you pay me back and you're not having to pay like the interest,
Right.
And it's just really sweet of him, because I know that he wanted me really to do an apprenticeship and do something, get a trade behind your son, all that. And it was like, no, I just want to go and I'll take any job so I can get a decent amp, get a good guitar and get out and play.
And to be fair to your dad though, he might have been worried because of how you left school.
My dad was usually right about most things, but he weren't about that.
Because your head teacher, was it Mr. Keats? When you were 15?
The headmaster.
Yeah.
The minute I was 15, he called me into his study and said, you don't want to be here, and we don't want you here, so you can go.
Yeah, it says in the book, you can leave now if you want. So
the blazer went straight in the river,
Brilliant. And then you started up the band, of course. And who were your influences then?
Mostly kind of like, it was, at that point, it was listening to people like the Yardbirds, the Stones, the early Stones with Brian Jones. and little bits of blues things. I was starting to understand where things were coming from. I mean, the first riff I learned was a Howling Wolf thing. Smokestack Lightning, the riff off that. And yeah, I'm sort of dabbling about really, sort of like listening to this, listening to that, and then with bands like, you know, then the Who come into my life, and that gave me a whole different thing, different perspective. You know, a lot of my mates were very kind of, they liked this or that, but I basically liked everything. I thought it was awkward. I thought there was awkward stuff going on, even some of the pop stuff, like the crappy pop stuff. I thought, wow, interesting, though. And when these bands come through town, I go down and see them.
That's right, you saw a lot of live bands, didn't you?
I saw one a week, at least. Yeah.
So who did you see? The Who?
So the Who.
Hendrix.
Mr. Hendrix, yeah. Ghosty Dick, Biggie, real, you know, I didn't care. I mean, obviously some bands were a million times better. The Move were a great band, like.
Right.
Some of these bands were really good. But even the crappy bands who had the really cheesy little singles, you figured, let's check it, what am I going to do tonight? Go down the pub and waste my money down there, or go down and see how they cut it live. You know?
Yeah.
And it was an instruction, it really was. Because some of these bands, even though their singers were like really produced terribly, like poppy.
Yeah.
They were all right live, you know. I mean, they got up on stage and give it everything they had, you know.
When you were watching those bands in your formative years, did you take anything from them that you put into your later work?
Well, I think, yeah. I mean, obviously, you're not really, it's not a conscious thing. But you're soaking things, especially when you're young, you know, you're kind of soaking things up. And it's got to come out somehow in what you're doing, you know. Yeah. You know.
John, I know we're time sensitive here, so I wondered if you wouldn't mind reading just a little bit from the book about...
you can read it.
Oh, I can read it? Oh no, I don't want to read it. It's basically...
Adam, get up and read
you can talk about it if you want. It's about the part that you wrote about Bastard's choice of names. So we're going to jump and talk about...
I think you should ask Brian about that.
Right, okay then. All right, we'll ask Brian. Brian, your choice of name, it says here, John has written, Bastard's choice of name was a deliberate effort from Brian and the rest of the group to put forward a name that described the directness of their music at a time Britain was awash with a love for the glam rock music scene. Did you not like glam rock? Did you like glam rock?
Not much. No, not much. No, not at all, really. No. But also, when the glam rock was coming up, that's when my band Bastard, we moved over to Brussels.
Yeah.
So I kind of escaped from a lot of all that kind of glammy stuff. But I know a lot of people got into bands like, you know, you had the pop ones, your Sweets, your Muds and all that lot.
Yeah.
But also you had people like Mott the Hoople and stuff. And a lot of people that I got to know later were really into those bands. But whenever I'd hear anything, it would be like, nah, this don't come nothing near the Stooges or the MC5 for me. You know, that was, by that time, that's what I was.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that was it.
And you went off to Brussels because your band couldn't get a gig here.
Yeah, well, they didn't want to put us on because of the name, because we were called Bastard. And, they didn't like the music either, because we were kind of
Yeah, it wasn't just the name, but yeah, might have been, yeah.
No, because you had to be prog rocky or I don't know. Just like, it was a boring time, you know what I mean? It was, or you'd have all people with grime beards and check shirts and pretending to be Americans coming from the mountains in Tennessee or something like that.
Right.
It was like, Jesus, what you doing? You know, you're English, fucking play, get on with it.
Yeah, what was interesting when you talk about going to Brussels and like, you made a big statement, you cut your hair off.
Yeah, I did.
Which was kind of a big deal then.
Well, the fact was, I had long hair, right? And I moved to Brussels. I went and seen Lou Reed play. He was doing the Rock and Roll Animal tour. and he had like sort of dyed white hair cut right short with little swastikas stuck in it. And I thought, now there ain't another person in this building who looks anything like him.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, no, I don't want to look like everybody else, do I really? You know. So I cut and dyed my hair black, and that was it.
Yeah.
It's always been the same since to the latter days.
Because there's quite a lot in the book, John. I don't know if it was your intention to paint the book in this way, or if it just came out this way, but there's a lot of revolt in Brian for the music of that time, and kind of, you know, how he pushed forward, obviously first punk single, first punk album. A lot of people here talk about him, and in the press talk about him as the pioneer of punk. The evidence in here is unshakable, even from people like Dave Robinson talking about the sort of force he was. Was it your intention to write the book with pointing Brian towards the sort of the first pioneer of punk, or was it just that the facts came out that way, or was it both?
Well, both, I think. I mean, it's always my intention to put factual accounts out, and without Brian, I think it was the fact that nothing had been done to acknowledge Brian and what he'd done, and yeah, the first punk single, the album, and even when he kind of you could have easily ridden the easy wave of punk, but he kind of ditched that and stuck to his originality and things. And yeah, I don't think there was no direct slant. The facts are that it's way overdue, this Pioneer Award.
Were you a fan of Brian's work before you started writing about him?
Yeah, Brian's one of my favourite guitarists.
Yeah. Oh, that helps. That's good, isn't it? That John was that John was a fan of yours.
It always helps, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I think all of the contributors, they were just very open and very honest. The ones that did contribute.
It did seem like they were all passionate to point out the influence that Brian had at that time.
Well, maybe because it's long overdue that Brian's getting acknowledged.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Totally. I totally agree with that. Does everybody else agree with that?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Brian, were you in a rush to get your sound out there?
I just wanted to play. That's all I was interested in.
Yeah.
And after sort of like all the kind of hassle of trying to get gigs for Bastard in this country, and all of a sudden, I come back and I meet up with some like-minded people, which there weren't many of before.
Yeah.
And then it seemed like, oh, there's a few more over here. I was taken to a party, a guy called Andrew Logan, an artist, and there's this band called the Sex Pistols playing an Iggy Pop song. It was like, this is all right. You talk to the geezers, and they're all kind of like up for it. Like, It's like, yeah, I'm not the only one. After all, there's something going on at last in England, 2 years later or whatever. And it's like, yeah. From then onwards, it was a breeze. And I was the luckiest guy in the world because I played the kind of music I wanted to. Put a record out, which was like, wow, particularly like one of my own songs and all that. And it just sort of like continued. And it's just amazing that I've been able to do it all my life and get away with it.
I mean, was there any competition between you and the Pistols and the Clash?
No, there was more competition between the managements than there was between the bands, because we all knew each other. We were all hanging out down Portobello Road on a Saturday and this, that and the other, and we all knew each other.
Yeah, you just happened to be the first one to get your single out.
Well, I'm sure Jake wanted it that way from Stiff Records. He wanted that kind of like that thing. But I don't think it really mattered to anybody, really. Maybe it mattered to Malcolm McLaren or something like that, but who gives a fuck about Malcolm?
We'll come on to him, definitely. We will cover Malcolm McLaren. After a year in Brussels, you came home, and it simply